welcome back to another collector's discussion. Today we have InArt / Queen Studios Las Vegas event that happened I think a couple of days ago, maybe 2 days ago, or maybe 1 day. Again, Australian time's a bit, we're a day ahead, so I don't know the exact time it was done. But what I'm going to be focusing on today is InArt's product, because obviously I'm a 1/6 scale collector, and it looks like they've shown a lot of final products from basically the spew or the slate of figures that are supposed to be coming out late this year to early next year. And basically the ones that I'm the most excited about is Pattinson, obviously the Batman Robert Pattinson, Pennywise, and obviously Heath Ledger Joker. They're probably, out of all of them, the most I'm anticipated for. I don't know which other ones. I know Gandalf came on pre-order as well. There might be another one that I'm forgetting on top of my head, but basically out of the 4, it's 3 of them that I've basically pre-ordered the most premium one out of all of them. And yeah, I'm excited to see what they have in store for us. Obviously, the Joker being their first figure coming late this year, if not maybe in the next couple of months. Like, it's coming really, really soon. If they're showing final product right now, I think they're going to ramp up the early batches pretty soon. It'll be interesting to see how they start shipping those out, because did you have to pre-order this early to be part of the first batch, or was it just randomized? Because, for example, I've pre-ordered on Sugo Toys, which is an Australian site. Basically, day one, the first, maybe the first hour. So it's like, am I priority to get first batch, or am I going to wait until the last batches, because, I'm from Australia and it's probably the less likely country to start shipping out batches to. So that would be interesting to see. Either way, I'm not fussed, because I've pre-ordered all the products I wanted, and you're going to get them obviously, but I just want to see how this first batch goes, because they've said they're going to do a first batch, and then later on in the upcoming months they will send everyone's out later on. So again, it'll be interesting to see how that goes in the future. But I'll end my rambling now. If you guys do enjoy this, make sure you like and sub. I'll pull the pictures up now and we get right into it. So we got the photos here of all the figures from InArt in the event, and we're obviously starting pretty strong here with Heath Ledger's Joker. This is the rooted hair. They showed both of them, and I'm actually pretty impressed with the sculpted hair. Obviously this is rooted, so you can see this is pretty amazing in detail. But saying that, if I saw a lot of people when I'd done my other videos say they were going to get the sculpted hair, and I wouldn't be upset or feel like I missed out on anything, because I think the sculpted hair looks just as good. But for me personally, I wanted to get rooted just because I wanted to experience rooted hair with 1/6 scale, and this did look pretty promising. And from the final product here, this is pretty good. Again, the lighting with all these figures, I will say, just maybe keep that in mind, that this is not professionally lit. This is, at the end of the day, people have just taken photos either with regular iPhones or Samsung or whatever phones they got on them, and this is the quality you're getting. I see a lot of people, when it comes to 1/6 or statues or whatever, when usually Hong Kong influencers or Chinese influencers take photos of them unboxing said item and they post it on social media, people go in a frenzy that it looks like shit. It's a decrease from the prototype. It's most of the time, it's most likely just the camera's picking up bad quality, and it's not under professional lighting. So a lot of people might look at this and say it looks shit, or it's a decrease from the proto. Again, it's probably just the lighting. I looked at Justin's review on the proto or final product of Joker and the Batman. I think he did as well, yeah. If you want to look at probably the best in hand that we have so far, it's probably his video. You know, say what you want about his ethics or what site he supports or whatever. I don't really care about that. Buy where you want to buy. But to look at the figure in depth, he's probably, well, he's the only one that has that in-depth review so far of these protos, or for this case, final product. And it does look pretty promising. Again, this looks really, really nice. Like, the weathering on the vest here looks really nice. Obviously, the button missing, like the movie. The coat was the big question for me, because Hot Toys have only done one good coat when it comes to their Joker, and I think it's the DX1. I would say the DX1 is probably a bit more weathered than this, and I think that just comes to what part of the movie they're depicting this from. Like this scene here where he's got the grenades and that, he was pretty clean compared to the end of the movie where he's basically in the abandoned building, where he was pretty dirty and washed up and all that. But the fabric here looks 100% pretty authentic to the movie. I love the magnetic head add-on clips and the different swappable parts. I think 1/6 scale as a whole now should move to this now. Another good company that are doing this is Caustic Plastic with their Nosferatu. And I really think every company at this point should just do magnet joints and obviously swap outs like this Joker, for example. But yeah, overall this looks nice. Everything's die cast, that should be real metal. Yeah, this looks really, really nice. This is another figure that I'm really, really excited for, which is the Pennywise. I don't know if this is final. I do know the Joker that we just saw is final, because that's the most figure they've had time to grab the pre-order numbers and do actual production work on. I don't know if this is final or if this is just the prototype. But if this is the final, I'm 100% satisfied. Yeah, this is pretty amazing, to be honest. This looks way better than the Hot Toys one. The sculpt in the forehead, the cracking of the forehead, basically. It does look elongated like it should be, almost like an egghead, or Megamind is probably the character that pops into my head when I see this version of Pennywise. The rooted hair looks really, really good. The collar here looks a bit off, but I've seen other photos, and I think it's just the pose. I've seen other photos from other collectors do it on different angles, and the collar is adjusted to screen accuracy. So it might be just this certain pose that they had at this time of the photo, because it does show a little bit of the neck here. But again, in other photos I've seen it where it's nice and flush. So that's good to know when stepping into this. It's obviously way more weathered than the Hot Toys one. You can see here, it's all disgusting. It looks like he's been living in the sewers for however long he has been. He's basically an ancient alien at this point, living in the sewers. But yeah, I'm really excited to see the review or the early showcase of this. Just because, again, I'm a massive fan of horror. And to be honest, I already knew that Batman, Joker, even Gandalf for that matter, I already know those big top name characters are probably going to be really, really 10 out of 10 spot on. But it's more niche characters like this that I'm more interested to see how it turns out. Just because it's not a lot of people are going to pick this up. A lot of people are either going to be on two sides of it's weird and creepy and they don't like horror, or it's like this isn't as iconic as a character as Heath Ledger or Gandalf or even Bale, Batman, or even Robert Pattinson. I don't think Pennywise is as iconic as those characters. So I want to see how this turns out. And obviously, if this is final product, this is amazing. And like I said, this is more of a reason for me personally to continue what I'm doing when it comes to leaving Hot Toys and going for these more characters that I actually generally want, and not necessarily sticking to a company that's not giving something I want. I want these more horror inspired, more out there characters than just superheroes in rubber suits, you know? So this was the, obviously, Joker. This is the sculpted hair. Hopefully the pictures I have later down show more of light on it, but even in a dark light like this, I will not be disappointed if you got this. I think this is still a home run. Because it's like at the end of the day, rooted or sculpted hair is subjective. You know, some people might be scared of having punched in hair, and they'll rather just a sculpted, which I can see. I can agree to a certain extent. But other than the head sculpt, you're not missing on anything else. Like, you're still getting the magnetic joints. You're still getting all the die-cast parts. You're getting great tailoring here. You're getting the base, which I actually really like the simplistic bases. I'm not a fan of the Hot Toy hexagon bases or those big diamond ones that fill up basically your display. I like these nice simple ones. It makes it look more premium, in my opinion. And it's nice that they're showing the magnets, mostly on this photo here. So for people that don't know, that's how it's basically like a statue add-on, pegs on magnetically on the ball joint, which is pretty unique. So obviously we got the double pack here. This is the other version in the gel cell. Again, really nice. The shoes look good. The socks look great. The seamless joints look really, really nice. I prefer this over the rubber seamless arms. That was actually the main thing that I was kind of the make or break for me. If this was rubber and you could move the rubbery hands, I probably wouldn't have picked this up, just because I'm personally not a fan of rubber. Also the face too, you know, most of Queen's busts have the rubbery silicone head sculpts and arms, and again, if they'd done that in figure format, I would have not have pre-ordered any of their stuff, just because I'm not a fan of that. I think it's something that should just stay in statues, because at the end of the day, you're not gonna pose and move a statue as much as this, and obviously oils and obviously the scale. I don't know how rubber's gonna hold up in the long run, but they haven't done that, so that's a great thing. Obviously the bars here are metal. Back when this was up for pre-order, one of the guys from Queen had the pen and they were running it through the bars, and obviously it had that die-cast sound. Obviously real wood floors, which is insane. Another great feature in my opinion, and another reason why I think this is worthy of the price. I'll quickly touch on that because I think this is the last photo. Yeah, this is the last photo for this particular figure, and I've seen a lot of people complain about the price, and I'm not really... Look, buy what you want to buy. If it's out of your price zone, don't get it. Don't go in debt because you want to get something, or you want to get the best of the best thing. Always be the smart person in purchasing pretty much anything. You know, you should always be smart and have a strategy when going into purchasing anything. But saying that, I don't think this is overpriced because obviously, I'll take horror figures for example, right? Horror figures for the most part have been extremely rare to find. You know, it's been a very difficult time for horror collectors back in the day to actually get horror figures because not a lot of official companies were doing them, and they were all pretty much custom made. And you were looking at stuff going for 2K plus in the custom world, and that's getting 100% perfection. That's getting guys looking at every screen grab of a film, every still shot, and transforming that into a figure. And you were looking at like Freddy Krueger figures going for 3+K in 1/6 scale, but you were getting the best of the best for that price. And going by what Queen is doing, you're getting that custom 100% perfection for half the price. So me being familiar with custom artists and all that, you know, I'm familiar with this price points, and I'm familiar with the community that they're trying to gravitate to. They're not necessarily gravitating to the regular hot toy collectors, and I think that's probably the main thing people need to maybe understand, that this is not a hot toy. This is actually a damn near custom art piece that is 100% perfection. This is not as mass produced as a hot toy as well, and this is going to be far more premium and rarer than a hot toy. And I think a lot of collectors have to probably know that stepping into Queen. You know, take their statues for example. You know, their statues aren't readily available as much as a hot toy's 1/4 scale. So I think it's fair to lump this into the custom community more than a hot toy community group, and say, okay, compare this to a Bayo Metalli custom, or a Ones custom, or Tenila's custom. This is pretty affordable compared to their work. Not saying their work is bad, but if you put these two and two together, you're getting 100% perfection, and this is half the price of those artists, and I think it's fairly priced. Again, if it's out of your price zone, then you've obviously got the cheaper option, which is Hot Toys, and that's what Hot Toys have always been known for, is the cheaper option, but the more, you know, readily available one. Let's just say that. But yeah, that's pretty much my rant over with the price. So we got Gandalf here, and some people have said the likeness is off. And I'm not gonna really say much because I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. I love the trilogy. By the way, extended cut is the way to go. But I'm not that big of a Lord of the Ring fan to look at this Gandalf and pinpoint every detail in the clothing, especially compared to a Pennywise or Joker or Batman. You know, horror and Batman is my thing, so I'm going to look at a microscope. You know, I'm going to look at everything through a microscope lens when it comes to horror and Batman. But for Lord of the Rings, I'm not, again, that hardcore fan to know if this is 100% accurate or not. But going by face value, this does look like Gandalf. And yeah, again, if you hardcore fans, guys, see inaccuracies here and there, well, then obviously it's inaccurate. But I can't really speak on it because I'm not, again, that hardcore fan. So obviously we got Battinson here, Robert Pattinson from the Batman movie. I really like this. Again, for you people that were complaining that this is going to be a statue or their pieces are going to be non-articulated, again, go watch Justin's prototype final product, basically quick review he did, or showcase he did with it. They can pose. Again, I don't know why people walked into this thinking that you can't move this. But obviously, hopefully now you get that knowledge that these can move. This is insanely accurate. It's a shame that there's not a lot of photos I've seen circulating around with Batman. It's obviously more Joker, to be honest. Well, obviously he's the more standout, I think, out of all of them. He's the most pre-ordered, so people are going to run to Joker first. And obviously it's Heath Ledger, you know. But this is pretty good. You got the... Are they both rooted hair versions? Or this looks maybe... Well, I don't know now. These both look like... This looks a bit sculpted. This gives that glossy plastic shine. But I don't know. That might be rooted. I don't know. Either way, this still looks good. Like, even from a distance, I can tell that's the really pissed off Patterson look. Although I will say, I think the head sculpt is better than the unmasked. But that's fine. I mean, majority of people are going to have him pose like this. The Bruce Wayne wasn't really showcased that much. It was the sculpted hair, if I remember, and not a lot of people took photos of it. It wasn't the highlight, so I don't think a lot of people really cared about that. I'm getting the double pack that has the rooted hair. I don't think Queen put that one up. Obviously, which is fine. I don't really... Again, it's not going to be the one people are going to run to. If Queen had the choice to put this one forward or a rooted hair Bruce Wayne in a suit, obviously they're going to pick this over it. Looking at this, and again, looking at the Hot Toys one, this is the one to go if you want that screen accuracy. The cape is interesting because if I remember on Justin's review or showcase, it's not really a review, I don't think he elaborated on the texture of it. So that leads me to believe that this prototype version might have had a pleathery cape and they're changing that later for a real leather. Hopefully it is real leather. I mean, you're paying that premium price for premium quality, and one of the biggest reasons I picked this over Hot Toys is because of the materials. And if they do a pleather cape, I would be a bit disappointed. Again, just because I want that premium quality for everything. Yes, the premium quality is in the suit and in the padding and the armor and the head sculpt, but I also want that in the cape. You know, you can't really half-ass and give it, you know, make the body good and then the cape shit. But yeah, they didn't show much of the Batman, or people just chose not to take a lot of photos of it. Again, Joker's probably the standout out of this showcase. Obviously, speaking of Justin, I think this is his photo he put up before his review. And I love the statue foam padding that they're doing for this. Again, this is, in my opinion, is what's going to make InArt shine more than Hot Toys. I'm actually surprised Hot Toys haven't done this with all their figures now at this point. I mean, give the premium packaging and no longer those clamshells. And when you open the clamshell, the accessories just decide to shoot all out and go everywhere. I think this is the way to go. A lot of people who aren't familiar with Queen or aren't familiar with statues or premium figures have seen this and kind of are questioning or think this is a unique thing. This is pretty regular when it comes to custom pieces and statues, where the head sculpts are protected in another case inside the foam box, you know, just to not mess up the rooted hair. And obviously the friction with this foam is going to wreck it and all that. So this isn't, for me, this is not unfamiliar. This is pretty regular with custom pieces or higher end work. Yeah, this is going to be insane. Like, I just saw, so you got the regular oval display base here, and obviously that's the rooted hair. And you got straps there, so it's strapped in and foam cased. So you're not going to get really, well, it'd be pretty rare to get damage from this. But I don't see the gel cell display base, so maybe it have another section underneath the box, which is another interesting thing, because some people that ordered on certain sites didn't pay for shipping, and it might be a bit of a shock if you get lumped with a hefty price for shipping, because it wasn't part of your pre-order price, basically. Again, lucky for me, Sugo Toys was free shipping. So, you know, for the future for InArt pieces, it's probably smart to just make sure you're paying or choosing the right websites that have given a full estimate, or at least an invoice of what the shipping will be, because the last thing you want is paying for this figure and then paying like double for the shipping, because haven't disclosed what their shipping price is for this particular websites. This is, I think their video, I think they've done a quick video in art of just stills of, I assume this is all the other figures that we're going to get. I mean, I doubt that these are prototypes. These are probably the these are probably the ordered pieces that we're going to get. So I'll quickly scroll through these. These photos aren't the best quality. They're, again, screen grabs from a video, so they're not going to be the best quality. But that's the sculpted hair there. That looks pretty passable in my opinion. Again, I wouldn't be upset if you were going to go for this. Okay. I don't know if that's the box art. Interesting box art, if that's what it is. Or maybe not, because that's, I don't know what this is. So you got a bit of a better picture here of the full gel cell. That rooted hair again looks amazing. Even under the kind of dim light, in my opinion, brings out the features a bit more. Obviously in this scene where Jim Gordon gets promoted, Joker is in dim light. Obviously the handcuffs here are die cast. I think they were only for the first 24-hour pre-orders. You would get this as like an exclusive piece. To be honest, I think everyone's going to get the handcuffs. I don't think if you pre-ordered a bit later, you're going to miss out on handcuffs. I think every retailer at this point is going to sell the Joker with the handcuffs. Again, the rooted hair looks nice. This is again a bit dim lighting, so you're not going to get as much of the details, but it still looks pretty good. Yeah, this is overall nice. And what's also nice to see is, yes, this is a bit far away, but every other head sculpt looks pretty identical, and it's not like it's, I don't want to throw Asmus under the bus, but it's not like Asmus with their Ash figure where they kind of done some fraudulent lie where they showed the prototype Ash head and said that that was the final product, and then people unboxed theirs and it wasn't what what they showed. This looks like the final products or here. This is a good photo here. So it doesn't, again, going back, it doesn't look like there's much jarring differences to the head sculpts. They all look on par to the proto. Maybe a little bit of decrease here and there, but again, that's to be expected with prototypes. A 1 or 2%, even a 5% drop off, that's fine. That's what a prototype should, it should drop off like that. But yeah, this looks amazing. Like, I can't wait for this. And again, hopefully, I don't have to wait too long. Like, hopefully it does get sent out in the estimate December to maybe January. Hopefully I don't get lumped into that later batch because I'm from Australia and they see us as a second priority country in compared to the States. Again, hopefully they're a bit fair, and if you ordered this pretty early, you're going to guarantee a earlier batch spot. But again, that's probably a bit picky, so I'm not going to be too mad. I assume this is the box art. I'm not fussed with it. It looks nice. I'm not going to be critical for box art though, but it does look nice. And this is, again, this is probably my most anticipated, so that's why I picked this photo. Or doubled up on Pennywise. It looks like it's a bit warmer lighting. So it's that yellowy, warmer light. But even under that lighting, it looks really, really nice. This head sculpt is insane. I'm kind of conflicted because I bought the deluxe rooted hair. So basically this version here with the 2 head sculpts rooted. I really wish they threw another body like Joker, because now it's like you're going to have this head floating on the podium, which is part of the listing, I think. If I remember the pre-order listing, if you got the deluxe double pack rooted hair, it comes with this head sculpt podium. I don't know if it's going to be this size, but I do know you're going to get a head sculpt stand. But I think they should have thrown another body in, so you have 2 Pennywises with the 2 different head sculpts. Maybe I'm being too picky, or maybe that's just me who wants to complete, or too much of a horror completionist and want both head sculpts to be displayed. So I don't know if I'm going to pick up another one, but then it's like, well, then I'm going to have 3 head sculpts. You know, I would have to buy another figure with another head sculpt. So it's like, I don't know, maybe I'm just going to do it as is like this, display one on the podium. But yeah, overall this looks nice. I think the one complaint though with this particular figure is the paper boat, the Georgie boat. I think Hot Toys have probably won with the boat. I know it's a bit of a odd thing to be picky with, but paper accessories, especially when it's crumpled and shaped like this, is probably not going to hold up the best. I will probably never take mine out of the foam box and I'll probably just keep it in there. And I do have 2 Hot Toys Pennywises, so I would probably keep one of the boats from the Hot Toys one and maybe part ways with one that doesn't have a boat and sell it to a seller. Obviously disclose and say I'm keeping the boat, but just because, yeah, the paper accessories that are crumpled like this, I'm not really confident with having that displayed. And again, it's not just InArt. Hot Toys done that as well with their Jack Sparrow figure, DX 13, 14, I think it was. Their last Jack Sparrow figure had the wanted poster, which was crumpled up and it was real paper. I wouldn't display it with that too, just because again, paper's going to disintegrate if you're not careful. And then obviously this is the last photo here, and I had to end this with the piece that's coming very soon to people that have pre-ordered it. And yeah, overall, I'm pretty excited for InArt and their future. I do hope, though, they don't focus that heavily on the superheroes. Like, yes, give us the iconic characters like Batman or Superman or Wonder Woman, or even Black Adam for that matter. You know, I'm not going to get them. But hopefully they go into the more niche route with what they're doing with Pennywise. Like, I would love to see a Freddy Krueger. I think InArt can kill a Freddy Krueger figure, especially with the magnetic joints, the real die-cast glove. Maybe I'm the only one that wants that, so they probably won't make that ever, but I can wish for it, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Overall, I'm excited for this. Obviously, Joker's going to be coming soon. It will be the first one that they're releasing. So expect a pretty in-depth unboxing and review from me. If you haven't seen a lot of my reviews, I like to do a lot of screen grab comparisons as well. I think it's something that a lot of other reviewers don't do that much, where they put screen images with the figure side by side and kind of compare it. And also give a little bit of movie history too, you know, I like to do that as well. But yeah, overall, I'm excited to see this, and hopefully they get my Joker pretty soon. But if you guys did enjoy this, make sure you like and sub, and I'll see you in the next one.